all ideas started as a concept, and then they made it into something tangible. And that's what I always tell myself when I'm having those moments of like doubt, is that everything, Tesla, Apple, everything started at the ground up, and it was built up by somebody. So why can't that be you?
Maybe somebody's having a bad day. They don't want to speak to you, or they don't like your idea. You can't get hung up on it. You can't take anything personal. That's kind of how you have to move through life in general, honestly, and it applies to this business process. Taught me how to reach out to people comfortably and be comfortable being outside of my comfort zone.
Welcome to Begin, Build, Blossom, your business journey, the podcast where we share valuable insights, resources, and motivation to fuel your entrepreneurial spirit. Let's build a supportive community together. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you listen to podcasts and be part of this journey. Let's pause for a moment to hear from our sponsors. You've built a name for yourself through hard work and dedication, but does managing the business side feel like a distraction from your true passion? Are you dealing with unmanaged finances? CME Accounting LLC is here to help. We specialize in organizing your financial records, allowing you to focus on what you do best. With organized books, you'll have more time for what inspires you. Whether that's expanding your influence, building relationships, or simply enjoying life. Don't let unmanaged finances hold you back. Reach out to CME Accounting LLC today and let us help you thrive. Visit our website www.cmeaccountingllc.com or email us at admin@cmeaccountingllc.com. All right, let's jump back into our conversation. Good day and welcome to another episode of our podcast, Begin, Build, Blossom. We're very happy to have you here today. Today, we're learning about a new business called Zona. We're joined by two of the three co-founders. Co-founder Bryce Knight wasn't able to join us today, but with us we have Ashlee Okunonke and David Kema. David is a senior at Rutgers University, Newark, double majoring in management information systems and supply chain management. He describes himself as a Renaissance man, curious and intentional about growth, while also creating spaces where people feel comfortable and truly heard. Ashlee is a senior at Manhattan University, studying computer science and a former software engineer at ADP. She's planning to pursue graduate school in California while continuing to build products at the intersection of data and real-world impact. Together, they are building Zona from the ground up, a platform focused on helping people make clearer decisions about where they live and develop. Welcome, Ashlee and David. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
I'm good as well, and also thank you for having us.
You're most welcome. I had the opportunity to meet you at the Innovation Challenge at Manhattan University, and I was very impressed by your presentation. And congratulations on winning that challenge. How does it feel?
Feels
It
good.
feels great.
Like seeing all the hard work you put in actually, come to fruition. Feels good.
That's good. And I noticed also that was not your first challenge. You've had other challenges at other universities, right?
Yes, we have as a collective.
Yes, and not your first win as well. I'm just going to say that I went on LinkedIn and I saw, a lot of the activities on there, the post. So I was able to see all the great stuff that you are doing.
Yeah.
So, okay, just wanted to add that to say congrats. And I'm really happy to see what you're doing and I will continue to follow your journey. So as we get started, we like to ask our guests one word to describe yourself now and one word you would have used to describe yourself as a child.
I'll go first. Right now I think that now I'm ambitious, and as a child I was curious.
Okay.
For myself, I would say right now I'm a bit insatiable. And I guess as a child, honestly, I'll also say curious. I was a very curious child. So
Okay. Okay. Thanks for sharing that. And since we're on childhood, can you share one memory from your childhood that makes you smile?
when I was a child, I went to Hannah Caldwell Elementary School and I got a lot of academic achievements, and that always put a smile on my face because my parents, I have African parents, so typically they're not really moved by getting straight A's or A's and B's or anything like that. That's kind of just a standard. But any type of further recognition, so like for example, I got like a perfect score on the NJ Ask when I was in third grade, and my mom made a whole dinner for me. I got a bouquet, and they had my little poster up on the classroom in the hallway. So I don't know, that made me smile. It just made me feel validated in the things that I was doing that I wasn't really used to receiving recognition for. So I still think about that every now and then. So
Oh, I love that. Thanks for sharing. What about you, Ashlee?
Yeah, I wasn't as brilliant as Dave when I was in elementary school, but my my favorite memory or like something that makes me happy is when I went with my dad, honestly, to bring a child to work day. Because I don't even know if they do that anymore. But I just remember like yeah, his whole job was like praising me and this other kids, and they gave us like our own like it was like a street name, but it was like that thing that you put on like your fridge. It's like a magnet, like a magnet. Yeah, we put it on your fridge, and it said Ashley Way. And I just remember like always being excited for him to take me to bring me to work because he worked in the government. So yeah, that was fun. Like yeah, for resume, that makes me smile a lot. I always look forward to it each year.
Oh, wow, I love that. And Ashley, we, of course, why not? Okay. And is there one book, podcast, or person that has influenced how you think about business and you'd like to share that with us?
I think for me, a person that's influenced me about business is Bridget Medler. She's like the former person on Good Luck Charlie, and then I think she ended up like yeah, she's a former actress, and then she left like the childhood like industry when it came to media, and then she got to go pursue her I think astrophysics or aerophysics at Stanford University, and now she has her own space company. So to be able for her to like make that like drastic change, and become such an influential person in that space, I found it like extremely crazy, and like it just shows you that like at any point in your life you can honestly chase exactly what you want to do.
this might sound cliche, but I'm gonna say Steve Jobs. I know he has some sort of documentary or movie that I watched, I think in high school, and just seeing how he kind of went his own path with his business. Obviously starting Apple, he had believed in himself. Nobody else was really on board with him until he started getting traction, and the fact that he brought his community with him, like he was working in the basement with his friends trying to build this product. And even my dad talks about him to this day. He speaks very highly of Steve Jobs too. That's kind of somebody that inspired me and inspired how I think about business, just being able to, grind things out, believe in yourself and have your community behind you. I'm really just supporting what you do, even if nobody else really sees the value in what you're trying to build. So that's something that I take from him.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And talking about business and those entrepreneurs that you admire so much, do you remember the first time that you thought of yourself as an entrepreneur? Or maybe you thought of becoming one?
I honestly think for me, the first time was when I started thinking about Zoner. Like, I didn't really feel like I had much business thoughts prior to then. I was always focused on becoming like a software engineer, becoming like a systems engineer. And then when Zoner came personally into like my mind, and then I talked about it over with David, then like, okay, I was like, okay, we can really do this thing. And yeah, laying the groundwork, that's when I started seeing that, okay, I do honestly like building a product from the ground up. I do like almost like being a project manager amongst people. And now I can see myself having like 2 to 3 more ventures in the future as well.
I would say it started towards the end of my sophomore year when I had first pitched a venture called Synergy with the Resolution Project. That's when I started thinking about, the possibilities of being an entrepreneur. Because I really just thought it was like a school presentation, and then I'm getting all these resources, all these emails like, hey, make sure you, send your annual report, make sure you do this and the third. And I'm just like, okay. And then I started learning about different business operations. I took a lot of project management classes and business policy classes throughout my junior year, and I just started piecing together how an operation runs, how a business runs, and yeah, just trying to gain as much knowledge as I can about entrepreneurship. I even did an internship with a program at my school called the Urban Solutions Lab, essentially just where we had a mentor and he was kind of guiding us through what we can do to kind of grow this venture, and also just get your business out there, the resources that you have available to you through Rutgers University. And I really appreciate my school for all the resources that they push out to us as students. So that's kind of where I started thinking about it at the end of my sophomore year and throughout my entire junior year, through my coursework and through my internships that I've held. So, and then up until now, it's kind of, been me putting it all together and trying to work on that mindset through Zoner and, trying to push it out as far as I can. So that's when I started thinking about entrepreneurship and how I've been nurturing it throughout college.
Okay. So it sounds like the environment that you're in and the programs that you able to participate in really had a big impact on that decision. You mentioned Zona, Ashlee, and David, you mentioned that you had you were working on another venture at the time. How did you both decide to now zone in on Zona and to actually be the business that you're working on together? And maybe there you can always also touch on how you became partners and just tell us a little bit more about that process.
Well, this really starts when I met David at the library in 5th grade.
I think we were playing basketball or something. I think it was outside. We were hooping 5th grade before school.
Basketball is right behind is it right not next to the library? I don't know. Anyways.
Okay.
Exactly. But yeah, I've known David for majority of my life. He is my best friend. Love him down. And honestly, Zoner was so I initially had the product vision for Zoner. I was honestly like in my room one day, and it was coming from a point of me thinking about honestly how to pay for my cousin's master's program because she's coming from Nigeria, and my family doesn't have a lot of money to be able to put through another person like through college, and I wanted to become like create like an innovative idea and then create a solution to already existing problem. And then I was like literally just brainstorming in my bed like one day. And I feel like housing, always constantly hearing like my family, friends, my loved ones complain about the housing market and just honestly just seeing it over the past couple of years, 2008 housing crisis as well. And that's when housing came into play. And I I just came up like with Zoner because I feel like there's a bunch of policing platforms that don't prioritize people's needs, people's priorities, and it's honestly just based on the amount of money that you have, not about the community that you're actually trying to build around you. And then I came to that idea with David on the phone one day, and he honestly stood behind me because he's always saying that like he thinks I always have like a lot of great ideas. I just have to honestly just take initiative in the way. So I brought it to him, and I was like, let's actually do this thing, and he was full fledged with me on it. And then it's been like that ever since. And this was like sometime last year as well. But David can speak more into it as well.
No, honestly, you took all the words out of my mouth. You explained it perfectly. So, yeah, that's kind of how we met. That's kind of how Zoner came about. So, yeah.
Okay. And once you decided that was the business, what were the next steps that you took?
I think initially, like last year, it was kind of a slow period because me and Ashlee were working a lot. And then fall semester, I was personally doing a lot. Like I was helping run a club. I was taking 22 credits. I was maxed out. And I was applying for graduate schools and jobs. So I wasn't really as locked in with it. But I think we started out with just like trying to find, I guess, trying to find a product. What would be the basis of the product? So kind of the features that it would have. And then Ashlee did some grunt work trying to find data from different zip codes, different crime data, and just trying to put together actual tangible product for us to then further out build and coding behind it and put marketing behind it. So yeah, and we came up with a mock-up. We started. I was the one I was trying to push for just getting the word out there to doing a lot of pitch competitions because you don't have to have something that's perfect. That's something that I believe in because obviously when we push it out to people, it's going to be edited. We're going to hear feedback and we're going to change it a little bit to fit the consumer because at the end of the day, they're the most important people. What they're using the application for. So that's kind of how we prioritized Zoner, the building of it. And we got funding because we were able to put together presentations, actually work on building it and tailoring it to our users. So that's kind of what we've been doing. And that was just past semester. So that's what we've been trying to do. And that's been our priority.
Okay. Is there anything you'd like to add, Ashlee?
I will say, like, in terms of, like, the grunt work, I remember, like, over the summer, because, like, yeah, Zoner has been something that, like, we have, been thinking of for the past year. And over the summer, I remember, because I am, like, a coder, I coded, like, the first early product or, prototype of Zoner. And, yeah, it was, like, honestly just, like, this cool interactive mapping experience. People, like, will be able to, like, rate crimes, safety, affordability across, like, different boroughs, like, in New York and going into, like, more concentrated areas as well. So I was able to come up with that prototype. And I remember fall semester of school, I came in and I was in a dining hall. Like I saw just a bunch of different people, and I just started showing them honestly like that prototype in itself, and everyone was just like, "Oh my gosh, like, this is so cool! You should actually like, yeah, you should really like go serious with this, etc." And then I also made like a small, I don't know if you remember David, but that small animated like commercial with like the stick figures as well. So I was like showing that, trying to think of also like
Yeah.
yeah, I was showing that also to try to think of like advertisement for Zoner as well. And then I started working for this company called Caltech, and then that's where I met Bryce because he hired me to like build this mobile application for him because he also has his own. He also is like involved in like two other startups as well. And then one day he was like, "Oh, pitch to me Zoner, tell me about Zoner." And then I did, and he was like, "Oh, he's very interested on like honestly like helping us like release it, work on it, etc." And then yeah, then we made him a partner, and yeah, it's been up ever since then, to be honest. But yeah, there was a lot of groundwork for me, like in terms of in the summer and trying to like get my vision into something tangible.
Thank you. So I hear a lot about, having that first vision and then having other people to come on board with you. And I also heard, I think it was David who said, not necessarily waiting until it is ready. So you're working on it. And as you learn, you're changing it, but you're not waiting to push it out there. You're doing all those pitches, all those challenges, getting funding. So I really love that you're sharing that with us. And I noticed too that you did a lot of market research in real life. I saw that you have videos where you're actually in the streets of New York asking people for their opinion. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
We got into this program called Code Launch for like is almost like another pitch, or like it's like a startup like incubator or like accelerator program actually. To possibly get funding and then get more exposure for Zoner. So we were part of like their early cohort, and like yeah, then we made it to like their quarterfinals. And part of the way to make it to the semifinals was try to build up traction like with your product. So it was like doing a bunch of like market and product validation. And yeah, we thought like the best way to do that is just going talking directly to people and building the product that the people want. So then yeah, we were like Bryce came here as well to New York, and yeah, we were just like, okay, let's go hit the streets of New York and really just go tell people about Zoner, go talk to people that are buying home, people that are renting, people that do like the community itself, because I think that you can't build a product without knowing what people actually need and want for the product to actually be sustainable. So that's why we're like, yeah, we're just gonna go to the street. And yeah, we were on 181st. It was honestly kind of difficult at first because some people didn't want to talk, but we did find those that did, and yeah, I think word of mouth is important because at least we're putting Zoner on people's mind, and we're just like finding out on exactly what people want and creating our product towards that.
Yeah, it was difficult at first. A lot of people, they weren't trying to hear us talk about, this random real estate, development, or real estate insight application. So a lot of people, just kind of dubbing us, and we just kept persevering. We just kept asking people what they really want, because, like I said before, I think customers, consumers, they're the most important people in situations like this. They're the people we're trying to service. So we're all being persistent. We're all individually asking people, recording interviews if they allowed, and just trying to gauge their mind as to what they would like to see, what their experience was like, also when they were buying a house, if they have before, and what they would like to know. So that was kind of, I guess, the main purpose of us going out in the streets, literally in the Bronx, Dyckman Street. Where else were we? 181st, around those areas in New York. So yeah, that was our main purpose. I think it's important to reach out to community, like Ashlee said, just to really make people feel heard and understood.
Yes, for sure. And can you just briefly tell us where you're at with Zoner right now?
So we have launched like our website that has like a mission like statement. You can find it at like zoner.pro. Just talks honestly about like the overview of Zoner itself and like for people to like push people to join the waitlist. But right now we have like a team of developers, and we're just like in like building the development for our beta version. And yeah, we should have the beta version out in a couple weeks. So that's honestly that's where we are. It's a very honestly exciting time because actively every single day there's been an update.
Yes, I love that. Literally building from the ground up. I'm so glad that we're able to hear that part of this journey now, and we hope to speak with you later as you continue to grow. And talking about growth, I know that you've been involved in internships, competitions, organizations on campus. I was speaking to David earlier about NABA because I was also a member of NABA when I went to university. Those experiences, how did they prepare you for this part of your journey?
Being involved in those organizations, it definitely taught me how to work with people and just how to kind of extend grace to people as well. Maybe somebody's having a bad day, they don't want to speak to you, or they don't like your idea. You can't get hung up on it. You can't take anything personal. That's kind of how you have to move through life in general, honestly, and it applies to this business process. Taught me how to reach out to people comfortably and be comfortable being outside of my comfort zone. So that's kind of something that I had to do in NABA, giving presentations here and there, attending events, being social, and also in the Black Professionals Network. That's something that I had to doing a lot of outreach, putting together events, asking people on campus to come. So just, be doing that outreach and being that, I guess, sociable. I'm trying to put myself out there to the community. Those are things that I think were transferable from these organizations and through my life as a student at Rutgers.
I think for me, honestly, I'll like really shed light on the internships I've had. I've been blessed to have 3 internships over the past 4 years. Yeah, in university. And I think honestly just made me like innovative. Like and made me innovative and also made me like gain skills of like perseverance because I did feel like at times like during my internships I was faced with like adversity or not knowing as much as like other people do or honestly just really having to gain like a lot of knowledge because I was just in really like dream tech places. Like when I got this my internship as like an IT project manager, that was like not even a position that was even initially supposed to be open to me. But I applied anyways because I was like, the worst you can say is no. Of course, like I'm a sophomore and you say that you want a graduate student, but like who's to say you're not gonna hire me? So it's just like being and honestly I didn't even have the skills at the time necessarily for that job, but I learned it like on the way and I was able to honestly create a meaningful impact throughout the summer. And then same thing with like cybersecurity because I wanted to like get into that field. And the same thing with software engineering was I wanted to break into that field and then to be able to like build multiple products across those 3 internships, especially like at ADP, because I made like the client metrics dashboard for like their database systems team that they still actively use. Really to be able to like spearhead like the front end development of that, honestly, was an amazing experience and a very rewarding experience. And it just showed me that like I can build, like legitimately, like I can code, I can build, like I do have the brain and the mind and the thinking for that, and even how to come up with different ideas and be able to incorporate them. Something that's going to make a platform unique. I was able to produce that. So I think, and even like, and then for Zoner, like, the whole point of it is to be innovative. The whole point is to be different. The whole point is to be unique. And I think that like throughout my internships, I was able to learn that very thing.
Let's pause for a moment to hear from our sponsors. You've built a name for yourself through hard work and dedication, but does managing the business side feel like a distraction from your true passion? Are you dealing with unmanaged finances? CME Accounting LLC is here to help. We specialize in organizing your financial records, allowing you to focus on what you do best. With organized books, you'll have more time for what inspires you. Whether that's expanding your influence, building relationships, or simply enjoying life. Don't let unmanaged finances hold you back. Reach out to CME Accounting LLC today and let us help you thrive. Visit our website www.cmeaccountingllc.com or email us at admin@cmeaccountingllc.com. All right, let's jump back into our conversation. Yeah, thanks. Talk to us a little bit about challenges like I think I saw here Shacks of Tech and Innovation Challenge. At the beginning, we talked about those being challenges that you actually won. So can you maybe, for instance, if there's somebody listening right now who probably don't know that this exists and they're a student and they're trying to get into this, can you just share with them, how they can get access to those programs? What it is like being part of those programs and the money that you win is like, how does that go into actually helping you move forward with what you're building?
So, I'll talk about Sharks of Tech. That was quite literally a club event at my school. I got sent an email flyer through one of my scholar programs. I'm a FISERV scholar at Rutgers University, Newark. So they send me events and opportunities all the time. So I just saw that. But if you're, a student coming to Rutgers, you're a new student transfer, whatever the case is, or even if you've been going to Rutgers, honestly, clubs have events all the time. It's in people's emails. They also have a lot of Instagram pages because I know a lot of people are active on social media. They post it on bulletin boards all the time. And, I've just been fortunate enough to get opportunities directly sent to me, but I also do a lot of outreach. I also do a lot of looking myself. So that's how I would say other people can get access to those quote unquote opportunities. So this was something that you didn't have to have any qualifications for. Sharks of Tech, you just needed to have an idea and a slideshow ready. And I was thinking in my head, okay, I have a zoner in my head already, and I have the slideshow, so why not just go and present? Just going up there with confidence, touching on everything that you think that the judges might ask, and answering questions confidently. And there's a way you can answer questions even if you really don't fully know the answer. You can just be honest. You can say you're working towards that, or you can say that this might offset that question. You can really just be honest. It's not always an attack when you're getting asked a question. So I think that's part of having that confidence, knowing your product and knowing that it can work despite what other people think. Going back to what I was saying before, just knowing how to work with people, it translates into knowing how to talk to people and present as well. So those are all little characteristics that I took with me when presenting at Sharks of Tech. I ended up getting first place, winning some money. And, that just further reinforced my philosophy of speaking with confidence and relating to people when I answer these questions, when I have these interactions, and when I'm trying to show somebody something that might help them in the future or help somebody that they may know, which is another big thing, because sometimes people don't always take into consideration the fact that this product is not for them, but somebody that they know, or somebody that friend of a friend of a friend. It just goes on and on and on. So just being able to relay that message and keep it in people's minds, that's a part of building your community. That's a part of being able to reach out and put yourself out there, and maintaining those relationships in a way that you can, continuously have this impact with Zoner, or, with talking, just everything. So that's what I took away from the Sharks of Tech challenge. That's kind of what it taught me and reinforced.
And to give, I guess, advice to other people that could be watching about certain challenges, I think that's I feel like throughout this process there was times where I experienced self-doubt, or I was thinking oh, I don't know if people are gonna like this, I don't know if this is a good product. And I think that honestly, any idea or innovative idea that anyone could have, it's just about how much you want to put it out, the amount of work you do. There's so many things that businesses that come up, and I'm like, oh, that seems like such a simple idea, but then yeah, but this person pushed it so intensely, you know what I mean? And this person worked towards it. So it's I think that with your work ethic, with what you contribute towards that space, just go hard. If you're gonna do something, I think if you're gonna do it, just if you're gonna do something, do it, and do it, and do it hard, legitimately. And self-doubt will happen, to be completely honest. And I feel like you just have to be confident in yourself to know that you're going to overcome it. And if you believe in the product, you can make other people believe this as well. There's a reason why I would say God placed it into your head to begin with. There's a reason why there's a voice in your head telling you to chase it, because it could become something. All ideas started as a concept, and then they made it into something tangible. And that's what I always tell myself when I'm having those moments of doubt, is that everything, Tesla, Apple, everything started at the ground up, and it was built up by somebody. So why can't that be you?
Why can't that be you? I love that. And I remember listening to you as the team, as you all presented at the Manhattan University Innovation Challenge. And I remember the judges, they asked some questions that I thought were so difficult. But you all just dealt with it like chumps, the chumps that you are. I mean, you did win. And I remember coming to you at the end and saying, you really handled those questions well. Because I was sitting there thinking, man, why do they have to be so hard? But I was really proud to just realize that you really knew what you were talking about, and you were able to really handle that well. So I just wanted to add that there. And, the confidence and the knowledge that you have about your product, how does that translate when speaking with investors? Because I imagine that you're speaking with developers, you're speaking to agents. So can you just tell us a little bit about what that looks like?
Honestly, that's like meetings. We went to this real estate networking event a couple weeks ago as well, and that's where we were able to meet like real estate, like different types of agents and developers as well. I met like one of the regional people for like honestly like Zoner's competitors, CoStar, and she loved like the idea as well. And yeah, I think that just looks like yeah, honestly, just going back to confidence and just knowing your product. Like I don't think anyone knows our product better than us. So it's honestly just about how we articulate it to developers, how we articulate it to investors, like forcing them to see the vision and like really like seeing the vision that we have ourselves. So I think that's like no one knows your product better than you at the end of the day. But Dippy can add more.
I think it's pretty, at least straightforward for me, speaking to investors or developers or anybody that might be interested. Like, for example, we have a developer that I was talking to that I met at an event at NJIT, a school right across the street from Rutgers, Newark. And I was just telling him about Zoner, just the same aspect of speaking confidently, just talking about something that you know about. And he ended up being on board with everything. Now he's one of our developers, helping us code Zoner in these next few phases. So I think that's just something that comes with trying to build a product. Like, you're gonna know what direction you're gonna go. You're gonna know what to say to certain people. You're gonna know what certain people might want to hear, and just being able to wear multiple hats in that aspect and talk to investors or different types of people. I think that's something that comes naturally, at least for us, because we know our product better than anybody else, like Ashlee said. So yeah.
Okay, great. And you're both students. You're seniors. It sounds like you're both in your final semester at university. How are you able to manage building a business and also being a student? And it sounds like you've had internships. You have a very full life. So I'm just curious how you've been able to manage all of that.
Honestly, I sleep very late at times. David sleeps earlier than me. I feel like you do sometimes. I think David may be better at like managing rather than I because I do feel like I sleep like very late. But that's also because my mind is always running. But by the grace of God, I think that you make time for the things that you care about in your life. And I take that like very like heavily. Like if something matters to you, you're gonna make time for it at the end of the day.
Yeah, and the way I am, I'm very much on the go type of person. So even if I'm like, for example, this past weekend, I was at a conference at Yale University, but I brought my laptop with me. I was still doing my schoolwork there when I got back from the conference because my lifestyle, it cannot stop because I'm doing something else. And of course, things that require my full attention, I give it that attention in the time period. There's a block of time, there's a season for everything. And that could be a few minutes, or that can be a few days, that could be a few months. And I feel as though if you're giving your best effort during that season, then you're going to see results. So that's kind of what I like to do with my lifestyle. That's how I balance everything. When there's time for club events that I have to attend as a vice president, I go there, I block out time. I'm not on my phone, and I'm there. I'm present in the moment. Like Ashley said, making time for things that you care about. When it's time to work on Zoner, when we have meetings Monday night, I'm on my laptop sitting right here in this same chair, have the documents pulled up. I have my thoughts going in my head. I'm in a flow state. I'm ready to talk about whatever we need to do, whatever we need to push out to get the next phases, going, get the ball rolling with Zoner. That's kind of how, sometimes things can be intertwined. Like, for example, I use Zoner as an independent study class for Rutgers University. So now it's part of my assignments now. So I have to work on Zoner. That's kind of how I hold myself. That's another way I hold myself accountable with Zoner. So now I'm getting class credit for it, and I'm also building this outside of school. So any opportunity that I see that I can combine things or aggregate any of my processes, anything like that, I'm going to take it. I'm going to jump at it. So those are the little things that I try to do, and it adds up in the long term. Things that I do to take control of my life during these seasons that I have where I'm doing a lot.
I like to also add to that as well because incorporating Zona into the life because that's honestly one of the reasons why I am moving to California and why I applied to graduate school in California because this both schools that I'm like picking between are both known as like startup universities and I just want to be able to put Zoner like a national or a global stage and get it like that exposure. And I want to be part of those programs that can help me do that. So like in terms of like a couple months ago when I was doing these applications, those were like one of the main like pillars that were really on my mind is this, okay, is this university going to be at, like, am I going to meet like other founders? Am I going to meet other investors? Am I going to have access to more funding competitions that are more than like $5,000, for example? Like putting myself in those spaces and just like incorporating Zoner, even like, yeah, they're changing the narrative of my life, like controlling the old narrative of my life. So it's like I didn't even give myself like options on the East Coast because I'm like Silicon Valley, like those are known as like also called California has the largest concentrated startup founders in the world. It's actually California, and Berkeley, for example, has the most women startup founders in the world as well. So being able to see that and apply that and like, yeah, heavily incorporate that is like, that's how I, like David said, you change the narrative of your life, or you control the narrative of your life, I should say.
I
Absolutely.
love how you're so intentional about the environment. I love how you said you're going where the founders are. And I really love that. And I hear a lot of discipline and perseverance from you all. So I'm just so excited to just follow your journey, someone, just to see how all of this, I mean, it's already working out, but as you continue to blossom, just to learn more about it. And talking about community, in terms of impact that you're trying to have, I saw, for instance, Ashlee, that you were on a panel where you were speaking with younger children. So to be able to be that person that they can see and look up to, I feel like that must be very meaningful to you. So can you both just give me a little insight about what impact looks like for each of you?
Honestly, it's kind of like the idea of like Kamala Harris running for president in that sense. It's like, so people just see like representation. People like young black girls or women know that like these things that they can do, like these things are possible at the end of the day. That's what honestly impact looks like to me in the fullest, like in the ultimate is like I encourage other women, I encourage other black women, I encourage other like young children that they legitimately can do this, and that the more what you put like honestly your mind to, like you can legitimately accomplish. I want to be an inspiring voice, like honestly. Like I don't know how much more to articulate that. I feel like life is complete honestly when you inspire or you impact somebody, because I mean people impacted me throughout my whole life, and I think that everyone is like an embodiment of everyone they have met as well. So I would like to also contribute to that every single day.
I'm the same way, the exact same way. I think impact is just touching somebody's life in any way, shape, or form. Like even at the Innovation Challenge at Manhattan University, for example, Ashley had a whole row of just her friends pull up, and they were all clapping and cheering for us, especially when we were answering those questions that the judge was asking us at first. So that's an impact to us. Like that's our community pouring back into us, being supportive. That made us feel good. I was trying my best to hold my smile, but I don't know, I might have let one loose. But yeah, that's an example of how community impacts me, and us even giving them hope, giving them like something to look forward to, giving them something to look up to. And even Ashley just bringing on one of her friends, Theo. He's part of our team now. He's a developer for Zoner. That's something that can impact him, even if it's on a minor scale. Now it's something he can put on his resume. Now it's more experience that he has with coding, and now it's something that he's also contributing to in the long run when we push this product out to people. He's part of that process, and he can say, hey, he indirectly helped all of these people that hopefully we're going to help in the future. Also don't know how else to put that. I just think, touching somebody's lives in the smallest way or a big way, or even you doing this for somebody else, let's say somebody makes revenue from this product and now you're paying for somebody's graduate school, like Ashley mentioned before. That's how you can touch somebody's life. There's so many different ways that you can measure impact with this process and with a lot of different things that people do in their lives. So I think that's kind of what impact means to me, and that's kind of how I look at it from a very multifaceted angle.
Great. And what about success? What does success mean to each of you?
That's hard because I think I'm insatiable. That was the word I used earlier, and that's how I feel right now. But honestly, I started writing about it, a lot of my thoughts, what success means to me, and how trying to not discredit myself for things that I've done, or even the things that Ashlee has done or my friends have done. I try to, shed a spotlight on it every now and then. But success to me is just saying that you're going to accomplish something and actually doing it. Saying we're going to start Zoner and we're actually building it. Saying we're going to enter this challenge, we entered it. Saying we might win and we actually win. Exceeding our own expectations, setting standards for ourselves, and staying true to ourselves, respecting ourselves enough to discipline ourselves to the point where we're actually doing all these things. Those minor acts, they all come together and they kind of build that definition of success, at least for me and across all facets of my life. I say I'm going to study for exam. I study, I do well on it. That's success to me. I try my hardest when, making an effort to hang out with people or catch up with people, hang out with somebody, a group of friends. Just even a few days ago, I just had an outing with some of my e-board members from my club. We went out, I came back home safely. I thank God, and that's success to me. I try to find joy in minor things. That kind of keeps me going and keeps me, I guess, grateful in life. That's that's success for me.
I will say, I had to pull this up on my phone because one of our close friends, Chitty, she sent me a tweet on Twitter, and it was like, maybe you don't realize how good you're doing because you keep raising the bar. And I think that this is something that honestly, like something that I struggle with, because I kind of had to look back on my life, and then honestly, I had to realize that I'm living in answered prayers from God. And I would say that 10 times over. I'm in the exact position, like academically and professionally, that I wanted to be like in last year. Like what exactly I envisioned myself in having graduating is honestly like the life that I'm living. And yeah, for me, that is also success. And I think that it's such an interesting thing because like, yeah, you literally just keep raising the bar, and it's like, yeah, you become insatiable. You feel like certain things you're not doing is enough. And also, I'll also tag on what David said. I went to Boston this weekend to go visit my friends that go to like Boston University and Northeastern. And honestly, that's success to me as well because I make time for the people that I care for, like in my life, and I'm also like watering my relationships, and I'm also watering my own like mental mind by being able to rest, take a break, and have fun as well. Like that is honestly also success. But it's doing what I set out to honestly do and leave like an impact. For me, the ultimate success is like, yeah, I pay for like my cousin's master's program, which I know like enough for the future I'm going to do. So, and like buying my mom an F-150, like just like everything I'm setting out to do, I'm saying that I'm going to do, doing it. So like that's success. Honestly, if I tell my friend I'm going to go get dinner with her tonight, yeah, I got to go do it.
That's success.
Yes, yes. Thanks so much for sharing that with us. I really love that. And as we come to a close, I would like if you can end by just giving us one piece of advice that you'd share with somebody else right now, and just also telling us the best way that the audience can reach out to you.
Okay, honestly, I would say it's easier said than done, but discipline does help a lot whenever you're trying to accomplish something. But giving yourself blocks of time to do certain things. This everything that we were talking about, doing things in seasons, saying that you're going to do this and actually sitting down and do it. I think that's a piece of advice that I would give to somebody trying to build something, trying to go through school. You're struggling on exams. Set out 30 minutes and just let that 30 minutes be for that studying period of time. You set out 2 hours to do something, finish an assignment. Let that be for that time period. Don't be willing to sacrifice it for anybody else. Tell them you can't do something. It's okay to say no, and let people know that you have other priorities at the moment. It's okay to move your schedule around, for something that you think is more important at the time. That's kind of how I've been moving through my life, being able to work with people, being able to talk to people, let them know, hey, this is something I can't do right now. This is something I can do, but I have to put me first. I have to take care of myself. So I think that's the best advice that I can give at the moment.
I think for me, it's gonna be from Finding Nemo, and it's just gonna be just keep swimming. Literally, just keep swimming. Like everything that you're doing in your life, legitimately, just keep going because like you will honestly bear the fruits of your labor. What you want, it will come into fruition. You just have to really legitimately just keep swimming, just keep going, just keep running, and do everything that you do in your life. Do it at 100%, like legitimately. I think it's honestly just about how bad certain people want after their circumstances. But let's keep swimming and show how bad you want it. And put your blood, sweat, and tears to something, even when you feel something is crashing down. Like, just keep doing that.
All right, perseverance.
You will start living. Yeah, perseverance, because you will start like living in answered prayers. Like, honest to God, if I had not put as much dedication as I did into Zona and other things in my life, I don't know if we'll be where we're at right now. And I will say that like we are where we're at because like we did put our blood, sweat, and tears. We did do the work, etc. We just kept going even in moments of doubt. And I think we'll like just keep going and have confidence, have faith, have hope in what you are doing, because that's honestly what's gonna make you like distinguishable from other people as well. So just keep swimming, just keep going, and it will come. Like, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You just gotta get to the end of the tunnel first.
Thank you so much. And what's the best way to learn more about Zona or to get in touch with you?
So you can go to our website, zona.pro. Find us on all social media platforms at What's Your Zone.
What's your zone?
Okay. All right. I'll be sure to add that in the episode notes as well. I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us and for sharing so much with our audience. Look forward to following your journey. I've said that many times because I really do. And hopefully you'll be on here again. Thank you so much.
No, thank you for the invite. I appreciate it.
Thank you as well. It was great talking to you.
A quick note before we wrap up. The insights and experiences shared by our guests are their own. We love creating space for real conversations about business and growth, and everyone's journey is unique. Therefore, this podcast is for informational and inspirational purposes only. It is not meant to replace legal, financial, or other professional advice. So, we encourage you to take what's useful, do your own due diligence, and build what works best for you.
Thanks for listening to Begin, Build, Blossom Your Business Journey. We hope today's conversation gave you the insights and inspiration you need to move forward on your own path. Don't forget to subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. Do you have feedback? We'd love to hear from you at podcast@cmeaccountingllc.com. Join us again next week for a new episode.